I think when it got real was when COVID hit. We were mid renovation at 1010, and I sold my house and moved in with my parents. I had X amount of equity in the house. I was like, okay, I can float payroll for 6 months. How long could this global pandemic last? I think that's where not only my culinary, my entrepreneurial, and just my West Virginia spirit just kind of came through, because I think my team understood that as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I was willing to sacrifice for them. So I grew up cooking. My grandfather taught me how to cook. He worked in the mine. And then on weekends, we did together, Italian night at the Glen Ferris Inn. So it was always a family affair. And then on the weekends, we would go to either his house or my great grandparents. There were 30 or 40 of us. So food for me meant family gatherings. It meant gathering. It meant getting together, the smell of sauce, the smell of meatballs, the smell of fresh baked bread. What always brought me back was entertaining, having a good time with friends, cooking for them. And I realized, hey, maybe this could be a thing. So when I started doing, through an internship, I started working at Chef Dan's. He taught me a lot. And, unbeknownst to me, kind of pulled my parents aside and said, hey, this guy has a little bit of an aptitude for this. So I think, we should probably pursue this. And I think right then, it just felt natural. Throughout my career, I have worked for someone else. I have not been an entrepreneur. I worked for the Ritz-Carlton. I worked for the Biltmore. I worked for Windsor, University of Charleston, Buzz Food Service. I was really good at spending other people's money. And then when I was preaching, hey, we've got to work together. We've got this rising tide. We can really make a difference together, not separately, in West Virginia. And when the chefs that I had as my, clients or customers were saying, yeah, that's cool, but you're kind of on the bench. You're a chef, but you're not really in the game. I think that's where my entrepreneurial spirit came into play. And I was like, okay, I'll get off the bench. And I was relying on myself and betting on myself. And I think as an entrepreneur, whether it's in the restaurant industry or in the construction industry, whatever, in between, you're betting on yourself and giving back to the community, supporting the community that supports me. Supporting the people that support me, having better people around me is really, I think, the entrepreneurial spirit. You're putting yourself out there, but you also have to have the confidence to surround yourself with people that are better than you, or you're just going to burn yourself out. And, now 3 restaurants later, I really feel that we are making a difference in West Virginia. We're making a difference in each other's lives. And I think that's the most important thing for me, is making a difference, not necessarily making money, but just making a difference. The story I'm trying to tell is a story of West Virginia. It's a story of underdog. It's a story of hidden gem. It's a story of keeping things close to the vest, but also never meeting a stranger. I think West Virginia has a lot to cheer for. I think it deserves more to cheer for. I hope that every West Virginian felt a part of the James Beard Award. I think now what people are taking is an experience, a new friend, and hopefully a great dinner, and that's what we wanted to do. It's always a compliment, maybe backhanded, but I'll take it, where if coming from New York, coming from Chicago, coming from LA, say, wow, this restaurant could be in our neighborhood. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it can be, but it's here because this is where I chose for it to be. And all through my career, I've had a fortunate career. I've traveled, I've learned. What I was missing was the people of West Virginia. So what I would say to an entrepreneur or leader of an organization is stay the course. When I moved back, I heard a lot, well, this is how we've always done it. And that's not how I was going to do it. You know, you can't be too far, you know, out of the box, but you can go right to the edge. And I would say being consistent, making sure that you put others in front of you, making sure, I think the most important thing is paying attention to the bottom line, but not letting it drive you. When you think about being an entrepreneur, to me, is trust. Whether you're an attorney, an accountant, in sales, a restaurateur, it's about trust. So as you have to make sure that you're putting your best foot forward all the time, you have to also make sure that you are representing your company, your family, your employees to the best of your ability and leading by example. I think a lot of people just talk the talk and they don't walk the walk. You got to work harder. You've got to show up earlier. You got to stay later. You have to inspire. You have to be a leader, a true leader that people want to follow. 10 years out, when I look back, you know, I don't have kids, right? So I don't have a legacy. So I think leaving the chefs that work under me better, I think that's a legacy. I'm hoping to leave West Virginia a better place. That's the legacy that I want. You know, Carrie and I work very hard to make sure that we leave our team better than when they came. That we make sure that we take care of them just like they're our children. That is the legacy that I think we want, is to leave West Virginia, leave Charleston better than when we came.